back. Hello.
But we're back.
Wow. Wait a minute. Who the hell is this?
It's basically the next one we're getting rid of.
Oh, is that what we do? So we have one to come on to do like Callan, and now we got Kai.
Yeah, because for some reason, would you want to do Freshers Week, wasn't it?
No, I want to go back to university for my second year.
He really wants to go back for Freshers Week.
Why are you saying it like you don't have to? Don't you have to go back?
I do have to go back, but I also want to.
Oh.
Because obviously he's been begging and pleading for me to stay. And, you know, I actually felt sentimental, so I looked into like, oh, what would I actually be missing? And I was like, oh, actually, no, I do have to stay. I do want to stay.
Until I called him out the other day. I said, so it takes you...
He'll be back
How
in
old
October.
are you? How old are you?
I'm 20 years old. 21 this year.
So he's moving into his halls, correct?
Yeah.
Is that the right way of putting it?
Yeah, and I would like 3 days.
3 days to unpack.
No, I would like 3 days to get settled in. Unpacking and settled in are two different things.
Have you seen your room? What do you mean? Unpack?
He's taking
Unpack what?
clothes and a TV.
I'm taking a lot more than clothes.
You're lying some
Go on, what are you taking? Come on, guy. It was going to take you 3 days.
I've got to take all my home set up for like my studio stuff and that I do it from home. I've got to take obviously my TV, my bedding, my kitchen stuff, my clothes, all my like cabinets and that I have to build myself.
I moved to Theon and one day it was done.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
I moved into a house.
Right,
I'm
thank
not
you.
saying
And had
it's
deliveries
exactly
as
what
well.
I said.
I'm not saying it would take me 3 days to get unpacked and set everything up. I'm saying I would like 3 days to meet my new housemates.
What would
catch up
happen
with
if there
old
was
friends.
actually a properly world war? What would happen?
I think that generation would fall apart. Hang on a minute, mate.
Mate,
That's against my rights.
I
that.
don't know. I'm not subscribing either. I don't know what you're talking about. Am I too old? Am I too old to subscribe to the army? I feel like I am.
Not if there was a third world war. No,
Oh, is there not?
no. I think
They wouldn't be using people though, would they?
What?
They're just
Are you on about the
drones.
button pushing thing?
Yeah, no, there's not going to be feet on the floor.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to that. You know.
Where? Who?
Well, once everyone's been blown up with the button pushing, there's going to be people that survive, and then everyone else. Is
Yeah,
gonna
but who are we
try and
fighting?
The Russians.
Who are backed by China? Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
That's having a heat wave that nobody knows about.
In the same way of that, right?
Oh, yeah,
it's
I heard
terrible.
about that.
Who's having a heat wave?
China.
Are they really?
Like
Yeah.
people are literally dying. It's
But no
so
one wants to
hot.
cover about it. Like there was a image. What was the image? It was
They're,
like an
they're
image
living
of
in
one of our
caves
bridges.
purposely trying to get out the heat. It's that hot. They're
Yeah.
literally, even with their flip flops, it's that hot that you could put the flip flop on for a second and it will stick. It melts.
I'm just going to say at the end of that, allegedly. Let's not get in trouble.
Yeah,
So, no, just saying. Cool. How is everyone? You started off in a good way, apart from your coughing. You right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm just the thing that the longer I have mental health, if that sounds the right thing to say,
Isn't this what this podcast is about?
it's.
Or COVID, apparently. You're
If
right
we'd
there.
done this yesterday, I was on such a. It was, how did I have the conversation with my brother? It was, I'm having one of them days. It's just, you could have had the best day in the world and like everything going right, but literally my head was just not happening. It's not having it. It wasn't. Everything was negative, even though I knew it wasn't. It was just everything. I felt out of control. Life
you on
was
medication?
just too hard. No.
Have you been?
I have been, yeah.
Did it work?
It worked me for the same. I was the same all the way through, but I was numb. If that makes
But
sense.
isn't that what most people have to do with life anyway, medication or not, to actually be numb a little bit to this stuff? If we felt every single pinprick, we'd
Yeah,
be in a shit place.
it's hard to explain. It's kind of, and I think anybody that's ever going through mental health problems or can kind of relate to it, like you could just wake up one day and the world is the most toughest place you can come across.
But no, wait. I think
nothing's changed for
No,
me
no.
today.
I think that is the world. Anytime we feel like, oh, my God, it feels so much better. It's good. That's not real.
No, but it's.
I think the
yeah.
mundane crapness of life is real. And the stuff we put on top is the things to make us feel better, but it actually isn't.
But do you not feel like some days you can cope with loads of shit coming at you, and then other days one bit of shit is just so overwhelming that another day would.
It's never one bit of shit. It's always.
But you get what I mean
else.
by that? Like some days, something that wouldn't irritate you or affect you or trigger you or anything, you could deal with, and then something so simple.
I just have to get on with it because it doesn't get me anywhere, honestly. And it sounds terrible. And trust me, I've had my fair share of stuff that's happened to me in my life. Actually, in this last bloody month, okay, loads. and I talked it through with friends and blah, 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 and some agree with me, some don't agree with me. I was like, cool, that's good, that's why you're my friends. But I feel if I sit in it, it just makes me ill.
And I think that's
So I don't.
That's the bit I don't think everyone realises. Mental health's such a weird thing. Yes, there's ups and downs in
But
life. So that's
isn't it just
normal.
life? We keep on saying mental health, and I understand it, but isn't it just life? Like, tell me one person, one time, one element of anyone that you've ever known.
Exactly.
I think there was an element of a South Park episode, and they were talking about the character Cartman, and he said, I'm suffering from anxiety, and I completely get that. But the whole gist of the episode was that. So does everyone. You're not special.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. You have to figure out what your protocol of stuff is to make your life better. And I guarantee you're not doing it, and you're not doing it, and I'm not doing it. We're making our life so hard because we all want to be right, or we want to feel this way all the time. I don't think that that's how you're meant to feel. I think life is relatively shit.
Pretty much.
And if
That's
it's
probably it in a nutshell,
and
right?
if it's not, it's boring. And then you want it to be exciting, so then you make stupid decisions.
I think you've got to have like I've said this before, you've got to have the shit days to appreciate the good days, right?
Of course, otherwise they don't exist.
But some people get themselves, like, perfect example, a friend of mine tagged me last night. Basically, somebody was writing on this other guy's behalf saying, look, he's going through bad time, mental health-wise, everything like that.
Is his life shit, though?
I don't quite know, but obviously with reading what he'd put, like my friend had tagged me in, he's basically saying the mental health stuff that he's going through, all he truly needs, and this is what I'm saying, is there anybody that we can help him? In a sense, he just needs to get somebody that's experienced the same shit. So and I was like, I kind of get that, because trying to speak to somebody that, I've got mental health because my toenails are red.
And mine toenails actually are red.
No, that doesn't surprise me. But obviously, it's different kinds of life, isn't it? You've experienced different things to me. You've experienced different things to me. But it's just sometimes having that someone, like before we always go on air, we always just kind of put the world to rights, right?
Yeah.
But if you'd done that with me yesterday, I would have had a whole different outlook on life. But today, it's
But until someone made you not. Like, someone can do... I remember when my mum was in the bad mood when I was a kid, and I'd be like, I hope someone just calls. I hope someone just rings that phone. And my mum picks her up, and then she's like... And then she forgets that she's upset anymore. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's what it is. I've always said life is distraction. That's what it is. If you look at life, you look at it, you're either treading water or struggling.
pretty much.
And
Would
if
you say you're struggling though?
Well, at the moment.
Yeah.
he's got 3 days to do a room. Doesn't sound like it.
No, I mean, like...
It's chilled.
No, I mean, I feel pretty just, like, normal. Like, I don't feel like there's anything going on in my life personally that's, like, you know, it's taking a toll on me. I've had things where it's like I've had falling out with mates in the last few weeks or falling out with people. But 9 times out of 10, I'm just like, you know...
Do you think that's your age of where you are in life on your age?
I think that's just him. Like, you can do all these expressional things about age and stuff like that. You can be a dickhead at 20, like you're a dickhead at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you not think
It's him.
a 20-year-old's worries compared to a parent's worries?
Because
is
look at all
completely
his
different.
friends. I bet you all of your friends, same age, have all different capabilities of worries.
Yeah, and it's like
How they
I've
look
got
after themselves.
loads of mates right now who will literally be like, "Oh, you know, I have such a bad time because you know this and that's happening to me." And in my head, I obviously won't say it because I don't want to be mean, but in my head, I'm thinking, right, but as bad as that is, like at least it's like, I'll say it. One of my mates. Broke
Name
up.
him. I'm joking.
I'm not. Can't name him. Can't name him.
Boom, backfire.
We'll put it in
One
the
of
link,
my,
link below.
One of my mates from uni rang me up the other day. Says I know we ain't spoken a lot in the last few months. You know, I haven't because he's been busy. He goes, I've broken up with my girlfriend. Don't think I'm going to find anyone new. Like, and this, that, the other. And they've been together like a long time. They've been together like I think 4 or 5 years.
I mean,
And he's 25, so that is like okay, yeah. He's older, so it's a bit more serious. And
do they have a mortgage or kids together? If the answer is no, then it's fine.
no, but I do believe they were living with each other for a time.
Oh, renting. Wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But then, like, I'm just like, I say to him, like, and he's like, oh, you know, I'm never going to find something again. And in my mind, I'm thinking, right, yeah, that is bad. I'm upset for you, but you need to understand, like, you've met her, you're going to meet other people. It's not the end of the world.
But maybe for him, it
might
is.
be. It
But
might
I
be.
just lean into that when my friend said that. I'm like, yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm hoping he doesn't figure out I spoke about him on here.
totally. Why don't you guess below about whose guy's friend he's talking about?
Guess just a random name. Just a completely random name.
I'm going to go with Tom. I'm just saying it.
No, just like I feel like everyone has their own like little things that like they go through,
and it's fine because I was talking to my friend about some stuff, and in her life she might have her thing that's going for her, but then she likes the distraction of my stuff, and I like the distraction of her stuff, and that's what it's all about. And if that is how your friend's feeling, blah blah blah. But in the end, theoretically speaking, you probably, if you're going out with someone for 5 years since you're 20, I guarantee by the time you're 35, you're like, I'm glad I'm not going out with that person.
Yeah,
twat.
100%.
You change so much. Like, think how much you change in 5 years. Think how much you're going to change in the next 2.
Yeah, they reckon, obviously, when you're in a serious relationship like what you're talking about, when you have the breakup, you're basically going through grieving. It's like someone's died. It's not obviously someone's died, but it's the same feeling.
Oh, I grieve families. I don't give a shit about them. I just get really annoyed that I can't see their family anymore because you just build up this bond and you're like, just hang out with dad and watch football and stuff like that. I love it. I love it.
I get where he's coming from. Like, I know people who have like, who've gotten close with like little brothers and sisters, and they're like, they treat them like their little brothers and sisters, and then once it's gone, it's just gone. You can't rock up to the house one day and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take Jake out to the park because I felt like doing it. No, you can't do that because they're not together anymore.
Well, you can if
the parents are okay with it, then yeah. But if like, the person's not, then it's a bit weird.
But if you go out with someone and then you break up, and then they go out with someone else, and then they break up with the next person, and then you can kind of be, I don't know if it works in a straight world, but you can kind of be friends with them again because then there's kind of this separation. It's not too close because the amount of times I'm just chilling at my ex's dad's house watching the football, he would just walk in like, "You right, Dan?" I was like, "Yeah, your dad messaged me, so we're just gonna watch Chelsea."
Yeah, and it's just, I do. Yeah. So if you were to do that just in any other situation, especially at my age, any person from outside of that would think, "Oh, he's trying to get back with him."
Yeah, and I'm not.
Back with him. He's like, yeah.
Parents want me to, but I'm not. My mum's the same. My mum would be like, "Oh, the one that got away." I was like, "Mum, my current partner's here. Please don't say that." I know I'm still friends with him, but shut up, Mum. It's fine.
The one that got away. Yeah.
Let's get on to this. It is Hot Topics time. Do you want? You've got a new way of doing stuff.
Yeah, you ready?
I've not recorded anything new, so here we go.
Mess it up.
Oh, here we go.
This is
no pressure.
Kai's on her.
Hot
Topics.
Why did you speak over it?
You spoke over it. You ruined the whole thing. You had one shot.
One shot.
Hundreds of thousands of people watching this now that I'm here.
Oh my god.
That's another 100,000 people that are watching just for me, and you've ruined it.
That'd be the
they're all going to unsubscribe.
What are we going with first? Let's not do it anymore. What are we going with first there, Kai?
Should we go with your one, Scott, first?
Oh,
yeah. So, hot topic number 1.
Number 1.
So, everybody's, obviously, perfect example, the guy I was talking about last night. Some of the bits that I found out is because they're struggling with paying bills. That's one of the main things, and obviously lost it because of mental health and work and all the rest of it. But the biggest thing that I noticed, and obviously when I researched it a little bit more, is how much, obviously, all the bills are going up again, and it's affecting people's mental health, where they feed the kids or feed themselves or heat the house. You know, you've got to kind of make these decisions nowadays. How much do you think the energy companies are making per second?
Should you have a guess, then I'll guess.
I mean, is there like a quota? There's going to be like, is it A? Is it B? I can't just guess out of nowhere.
It's quite, well, I mean, I don't know the answer, but
like,
guess.
How much do you think all these energy companies are making?
Have you seen the?
And this is the bit that's annoyed me because you're literally fucking with people's lives, and the government's doing nothing about it. You are literally, there's money that's needed for NHS, mental health, all those different things, and the government ain't doing nothing.
So what do you think it is? I've got a number in my head, but I want to see what you say first. Say
the number, because I have no idea. Not even thought about it.
What number would you be happy with them making per second then?
I don't know. Is this profit?
Yeah, this is like how much they're making from like charging people per second.
Is this based on all of the energy companies together or one?
Of what they've actually turned over, yeah.
Of one or all of them all together?
I think one.
Just one energy company? So we're just going to say, like...
We're not legally allowed to say it, are we?
Just pick a number.
I don't know, like...
Would you be happy with £20 an hour? £20 a second?
No, it's definitely going to be more than that.
How about try £900?
See, that was going to be my guess, and you earned it.
Because you only had the conversation with
He already knew.
£900 a second.
Okay.
We've got old people out there that don't know where to switch. They think the government's going, oh, God.
We haven't had that problem yet. We will have that problem. It's not cold yet. But when it comes to December, when it comes to like winter months, we're going to be in trouble. Yes, of course.
Massively.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to... So, okay, they're allowed to make surely £900 a second. That's mental within itself. Huh?
Would you like to make £900 a second?
Yes, but not at the risk of someone's life. No, I would rather have like an iPhone. You know what I mean? That's that.
What
£900 a second while you're sleeping, you're making billions of pounds. Not at the expense of someone's life and mental health and children. And no.
Well, the problem is this is really, really difficult to talk about on these sort of situations. But the problem is there's not a competitive market because we've stopped taking energy from a country.
No, we sold it and privatised it, so the French government bought it.
Allegedly.
Yes, yeah, I don't know enough about energy to...
And this is why...
EDF is owned by the French government, the French taxpayers.
And so are other energy companies. But, like, I think the thing about all of this, it's so... And don't get me wrong, like, that figure seems a lot. But I'd also like to know what that figure was 4 years ago. Was it 800? You know what I mean? Like, how much is it? Like, I know everything's gone up, and we'll find out. And my energy bill's gone crazy. It's, like, so high. Like, I don't charge my car at home anymore because I'm just like, well, I can manage it better if I go to a charging place. You know what I mean? So I want to know. I think the problem is what we're doing all the time is we're getting irate about situations without knowing the context of how everything's put together and why it's there. I understand there's a situation, but I guarantee people are still not going to prioritize not going on holiday, not buying that TV, not having Sky Sports, not buying alcohol, not buying cigarettes, not going to the pub. I guarantee people are not going to not do that. They're still going to do it. The element of rationing, what our grandparents had to do back in the day, we're still like, literally I was at the airport not long ago, packed. Right. People still are not prioritizing. Actually, it's going to be really, really hard. Really, really hard for a load of people. And I just feel like there's an element of we need to make sure that we can be able to pay our bills, but we also have to make sure that we are lobbying the situation of all of these companies and saying, hey, this has to be done. This has to be done for our local government. This has to be done from the actual government, which we're going to get onto later. But the problem is there's no competition anymore because we have stopped taking energy supplies from different things, and we privatize some stuff as well. But I guarantee it's all these things all together. Without competition, that's why we have high bills.
Yeah, but also, the people that are on this green energy, how the fuck do their bills go up then because of the gas? What the fuck's that got to do with it?
Well, the word green means nothing. It's just a word. It's so weird to say it all the time when they want to be like, oh, it's green. You're like, well, no, to make this is probably
but they're
not
on the green tariff, so it's supposed to be coming from sustainable energy. Well, it shouldn't have changed, should it?
Yeah, because everything has changed. The whole world has changed. In the last 3 years, the whole world has changed. And it's funny because a load of people I know, they're like, I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to work in the office. And they're like, well, that's another reason why energy bills are all going up because everyone's been at home.
But still have to use the same energy in the office.
Not really, because you're not using it at home.
No, it's right.
So you don't have to pay for the energy at office. You don't have to pay for you don't have to pay for the energy in this room right now, pretty much.
No, I get where you're going with that. Yeah.
You do if you're doing this at home. So we had this set up at your house, and it's like, that's what it's doing all the time. You don't have to do that here.
Yeah, he makes a fair point.
So there's an element of like sometimes like our actions are thinking, oh, it's easier to work from home. Yeah, but then you're putting on your microwave, you've got your lights on, you're doing your stuff, you've got everything going on, you're charging your phones up. You don't have to do that. You don't have the distraction. So there's loads of things that are going on here that I think we're seeing. And don't get me wrong, I think that's an incredibly horrible number of that's what's happening when it's profit. And all these people are getting really, really, well, not getting what they should be out of life and being able to afford stuff. They're saying, like, I think it was Tom Kerridge who was the chef. He was like, his bills have gone up from like 60,000 to like 600,000. You know what I mean? Like, and this is going to affect the lights maybe being on in Sainsbury's. Who knows? This can affect so many things. And I think what we have to work out is not be irate about the number or whatever or the price or anything like that. We have to work out how we fix it and what we have to do as people. So if all of us decide to stop paying it, just say, for instance, we all went...
Oh, is this like that million people that they're trying to get to stop? Is it in October or something like that? There's a thing.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so basically there's a thing you can sign up with that they need 1 million people to not pay their bill, and it forces the government to do something.
Of course, and that's what they do at football stadiums. If they don't want ticket prices, then a load of people won't go. But the problem is, majority of people can't and won't do that, and so it's really, really difficult to try and change too many things. Something has to change. It is.
Oh, and what would
fair.
you change then?
I have no idea because I don't know all the information to do that. I think what we have to do is we have to probably fix what's going on in the world right now. We have to fix what's going on, and we have to get people talking, and we have to have an idea of moving forward, not to win, but to move forward. And then from that moment, then we can kind of try and move forward ourselves. I think India just signed a deal with Russia, like for fuel. Like, we're going to be in trouble or left behind if we don't fix stuff. And I'm a naive person. I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on right now in this world. I have no idea, and nor should I. But we have to make sure that we're not squeezing the people at the bottom. But we always do. And to be honest, the people in the middle, people in the bottom normally get some stuff, but people in the middle normally get nothing. Mm. No help. But yeah, I don't know. You got any ideas of what you would do?
Me as the energy companies, I'm not saying I would want to make a profit 100%. And like I said, I wouldn't want it to be. But if you're making £900 per second, how many seconds in a day, Kai?
I'll Google that.
But what I'm trying to say is, shouldn't some of that profit, not saying don't pay your people, because obviously that's the reason why you bought shares in the energy company, right? To make, and obviously this is your shareholders that need. Yeah. But surely we should be using some of that money to actually do it, so we actually do get green energy. That means the energy bills come down. It's not even like you're paying something to make it better the other end. This seems to be doing is so worse and worse and worse.
This is so difficult, and so many more people are living by themselves. They're not together, and they're partners.
But some people are actually in this day and age are living from week to week, day to day.
But some people are also living by themselves. I live by myself. You pretty much live by yourself when your kids are there. Beforehand, there was going to be, 6 people in your household together in one house. Mm-hmm. Now they're split. So you've got 2 houses you've got to do stuff. We're also having our cake and eat it. You know what I mean? I should be having someone living with me and someone and making sure that they don't live somewhere by themselves. Because, again, I like my own space. I don't want to live with anyone else. I don't get with that person anymore. I understand that, but that's not best for the planet. You know what I mean? It's best for you. And this is this whole situation. We are choosing what's best for us over what's normally best for the planet. Always.
I've done the maths.
Here we go.
Go on then.
So a day, there's 86,400 seconds. Times that by 900. 77,760,000.
We'll cut that so we can just get that last bit. So it sounds like you got it right. You're editing it, so it's great.
My point.
Sorry. Well, they made 77 million, but I want to know how much they made last year. I want to know how much they made 10 years ago. I want to know how much the situation of that has changed. And we're just
nowhere near that.
We don't know that. You're guessing. You have no idea. I'm not saying, of course, it would have gone up. And to be honest, that figure's probably going up by double by the time it's... right now, when was the last time you put on your heating? Exactly. And it is September now. Well, we got one more month. before your house is starting getting cold.
Well, it's,
Probably not even that, given all the thunderstorms and rain.
Mate, it was
that's been
freaking amazing yesterday. I loved it. Only because my dog doesn't care about it. If you have an animal that does, I feel massively sorry for you. But then we've got literally all the events coming now because we've got fireworks and Diwali and everything like that. So it's going to be like... But I'm lucky because my dog doesn't care. I think we spent a lot of time on that, and I think we've probably got nowhere on that situation. We just probably angered other people.
You could do better with the money that you got going, and the British government could take it back.
Everyone could do better with everyone's money. I feel like that, and I feel like in the sense that we need to make sure that we try and cut the best deal ever, so the people at the bottom and the middle get helped, but the people at the top don't care because they can pay it. So it's very difficult because the people
That's
at the top
what I mean.
make
The
plan.
government's obviously this is where
rules.
Yeah.
Let's go on a happy topic. Let's talk about someone getting a job.
Oh yes. So a certain someone yesterday was a named Prime Minister. Not sure if you've heard of her, but apparently, we can trust her.
Oh, is that what it says in the headline? You're reading Daily Mail again.
Can you
No,
bring
it's
her
just
up
her
on the
name.
screen?
It's just her name. You can trust her, and if trust in,
There you go. Hello.
if trust is in the name,
I can just see her, let alone trust her right now. Oh, there we go. She's there.
very
Oh,
bad picture. Let me see if I can
that's
find
great,
a
yes.
better one.
A little
Did not-
HD gone wrong there. It's fine.
Yes, but Liz
yes.
Truss, Prime Minister, was announced yesterday. She went to, I think it was Scotland, to
Right.
meet the Queen.
Oh, nice. Is she
Yeah.
in Barrymore? She must be.
I would
Not
imagine so.
entirely
Yeah, it
sure.
has to be, doesn't it? Because it does.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
but
she was announced yesterday.
what's she going to do difference to?
I until yesterday I didn't know who she was.
I've never heard of her.
Yeah, but you didn't get to pick her, so why would
True.
you? Have you ever voted?
I voted once. No,
Okay.
maybe twice.
Okay.
This is CNN. So hopefully.
CNN. Well, well done for her beating up. To me, off like she beat Rishi. And if you think about that situation, that Rishi is a millionaire, his wife's a billionaire, and you're more far removed. She actually used to be a Liberal Democrat. She used to be an MP for the Liberal Democrats. So there's an element of kind of her being one of the people in some sort of format. She's not a multi-millionaire yet. She's okay at talking. Is she a leader? Is she better than Theresa? Is she better than Boris? Who knows? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Can she calm things down? Maybe. Can she talk a bit straighter than what we had before? Maybe. But yet again, the people have not voted for her. They voted for Boris, right? And this is what worries me a little bit. We didn't vote for her. So we're going to have to do another general election, which is going to have to be against Keir Starmer, which no one cares about either. So it's yet again pointless, and then she'll win, and then people are upset with the Tories, and it's just so on and so on and so on. It just keeps on rolling around. What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know too much about her. I don't really follow politics. I really don't.
I don't think you meant to at 20.
No. Like, even when with the last general election.
If you're having sex, you're not following politics. I'm just saying. If you're 20 and you're having sex, you're probably not following politics.
So Scott's following politics.
Oh yeah, he's well on it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as a
that
20,
because of my
as a
age,
20,
or-
no, as a 20-year-old, like I think, like
Oh, I
you
thought
have
we were
other-
just talking generally.
No,
Like,
no,
okay.
no.
Well, if Scott was 20, you would be following politics.
When you were 20, who was Prime Minister? It was 22 years ago.
Huh?
So just go back to
21
so,
years.
Well, 21 years, sorry. So go 2001.
No idea.
Are you just saying that because you know that if you actually say the person's name?
No, I
you
genuinely don't
probably-
know.
Okay.
It's got to be Blair, isn't it? Has to be.
Well, that's kind of what the first thing that popped to me, and that's that. Just
Oh,
'cause
were you
that's the
worried
only
about
one.
being wrong? Who cares about being wrong? We can just look it up. But
Yeah.
2001 Prime Minister, I think it's Tony Blair.
So who actually voted for her then?
It was a
The House of Commons
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
yeah, it was their own party.
So you're right in what you're saying. Is nobody's voted for her. We wanted Boris, or
Yeah, we
Everyone
voted on
was
it, but we
Tony
voted for it.
Blair.
There we go.
it was there.
Yeah. And you only knew that because you were 20 and followed politics.
Well, the main reason I knew that is because I did maths of 9/11, and then obviously with the Iraq War and stuff like that, who was our Prime Minister, and I was like, obviously Tony Blair. I mean, let's see if she makes, like, I'm not going to give her a hard time or whatever. Let's just see if she makes a difference. There you go. That's all I can do. Good luck to her. Who wants to have this right now? Like,
I was about to say, in fairness to her, as much as we're all saying that, who actually wants that job right now?
do you know
With the way of everything, the state of the country.
how much do you reckon you get paid a year to be Prime Minister? Type this up, by the way. I think I know. But how much?
It's got to be about 100k, isn't it?
It's a little bit more than that, but it's not a lot.
No, but she gets free rent as well, and free electric and free gas, so she ain't worried about the energy prices going up.
It depends. If
British
she has to
taxpayers
do
paying
her
it.
own
Come
house
on.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
What you mean, her second home?
No, her actual home. You move in. You're not just selling your home if you go and be.
Yeah, but
Prime
she'll rent
Minister.
that out.
Or she just keep it with her family.
So
damn.
this article says Boris Johnson was entitled. Oh, hang on, let me get rid of this quickly.
Oh, yeah,
This bit, there we
trying
go.
to get us to sign up.
Boris Johnson was entitled to an annual salary of £164,000.
I think if you just pay them better, we get better
You
people.
run the country for 164,000.
I thought it would be
That's
a lot
mad.
more.
Oh, the president's the same.
I thought president and that would be a lot more.
No,
I
it's
thought
really
they'd be
low.
like right. I thought they'd get like a finite amount of money, say like 900.
But they got no bills, so 164
Yeah, that's what I mean.
is a lot of money.
I would have
You
thought.
still have stuff going on. You can't just say I get a job and I move in and stuff, and you don't have any other
Yeah.
bills. Like you do.
What
There's
bills does she? Well,
You've got bills in your life. You
I'm
don't know
sure
what
she
your,
doesn't
your
get Netflix
situation.
for free. She might not get Netflix for free. Amazon Prime Video. Like, so sure she don't
that's
get
where
these
I'm kind of
things.
going with this
Yeah.
guy.
But
So what
like-
other bills has she got then?
Well, who knows? But I'm just saying that
She
you're,
paying for car
you're just making. She might still have a car that she still have to pay for.
that she's not allowed to drive anymore.
No, of course not. But you can still have your car because your husband or partner or your kids want to drive. You still have stuff.
Her kids and husband, if she's got them,
Yeah.
ain't allowed to go driving by themselves, are they?
I don't know. You're still guessing.
not. So hang on, we're just
Hold
going to
on, hold on.
kidnap the kids of the Prime Minister of
I
Great
didn't know.
Britain.
I didn't know she was still yesterday, so I don't think many people are going to know who her kids in that are. Like,
They might do now.
yeah, they might do now.
Let's look it up. It's fine.
No, in fairness to her, it's going to be a tough job. Nobody wants the. Well, I wouldn't want that position right now. With
So what would
the
you?
state.
What's like? You could do anything. What would your first thing be as Prime Minister? What would you do? You think of anything. You can benefit you, benefit the country. What would you do?
Heating.
Heating.
I would actually do a windfall tax on them. But if knowing them figures, if them figures are right and it's not bullshit made up, if them figures are right, I would take that windfall tax, right, and basically spread a little bit out, keep some of it to make green energy for Great Britain. Stop privatising everything and giving it all away to the rest of the world to buy it to make a profit out of the British.
Okay then. What would you do as Prime Minister?
I probably disband everything and start again. I think what we're doing right now of this whole situation of pretending that the people have power through voting is kind of a mirror.
Myth.
It's not really. Yeah, it's just like we're looking and we're like, oh, it looks great. Yeah, it looks great. And then they're behind the mirror. They're like, no, we'll just do whatever we want. And I think because it's just been like that for ages. If you go to a school and you try and change something, they're like, no, we've done it this way for ages. If you go to a work and you try to change something here, we're like, no, we like it the way that we like it. And there's an element of like, if we change this happens and then we can't use this company and then that company might go bust because you stop using that company because we're going to go a different way. And you have to take casualties with every decision that you make. And that's the hardest thing. So I think it'd be a good way to kind of look to rejig a lot of stuff that's been going on. I think if we're so worried about
Would you hit the
hierarchy-
reset button?
it's not about reset, but I think what it is to actually just go and talk to every person as much as we can, not census and stuff like that, but just and say, what would you like and what do you think is fair, and then we'll have this middle ground. Okay, we still got to make money. We still got to make sure that everything works and the roads work and all that stuff. We can't just give people money because we take away incentives. That we have to make sure that people earn their money, and it goes into the thing that I'm going to talk about a little later. But you've got to make sure that things work, but you've got to be okay to change.
Okay.
And I don't think that this whole situation that we've got of shouting each other in the Houses of Commons and all that stuff, like, it's so old school. I feel like it's great, but let's move on because it's not worked for a very long time.
Okay, so you would obviously change the heating. You'd reset button. My one, it's a bit different.
Oh, God.
I've got two things. I've got one serious and one funny one.
You want a direct route to Dartford from here, so you
No.
can like a dug tunnel
So
underneath.
we're going to cut that because that's no longer going on.
No, we'll keep that in. Dartford.
Awkward.
Yeah, so- no, but I'd what's it? First thing, massive house party. At number 10.
They've already-
Number
they've
10,
already-
you know you get billed for that, right?
They've already had it.
Yeah, exactly. They've already had theirs. I want my one. Two, I would. So obviously I'm a student. I would adjust how things are paid for in terms of student loans. So my accommodation at the moment, so my course is £9,000 or
Mm.
9.5. My accommodation for this year, my private one, is £5,000 for the year. And then I'm entitled to £9,000, but 5 of that goes to my accommodation. Now, obviously, that's £4,000 I get for the year, which is split up into 3 payments of like 1.2, 1.2, and then the rest, the last bit. I would change it so that you would get, like, if a university provided building, which is what most universities have, is paid for under your tuition fee. But if you wanted to go private, then you'd have a part of that. So you'd up the
Hang on, I want to answer this
up
question a
the
second.
you'd up the tuition fee to the total amount. So if it's £9,000 for this, but then £4,000 for the room, it's £13,000 in total.
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever you were entitled to, if you go to a private accommodation, but you have a just reason for doing private accommodation, like you just want a bigger room, you need the space or whatever, you would get more money than someone who obviously is just going there for the sake
My
of going
question.
there. Yeah.
So if I could wave a magic wand,
Yeah.
so that whole grant, the 9, what
Yeah.
would you do with the £9,000, Kai?
What would I do with the £9,000? Me personally, or just like what an average
see where I'm going with
what
this,
an
right?
average student would do?
An average student would do.
If we're talking average student, a lot of that would be spent on nights out, but they wouldn't spend it all on a night out in one night. The thing is, a lot of people think that, oh, uni students, we like to go out all the time. We do like to go out all the time, but we do it smart. We don't go out and blow
You
all
do
our money.
remember I was a doorman for 20 odd
Yeah,
years,
but
and I've seen what the students do, right?
People who are smart about it don't blow all their money. I don't blow all my money. I, since being back here, have spent more money on nights out than I ever did in Southampton. And I go to more places in one night in Southampton.
Because you go to student places in
No,
Southampton.
I don't always go to student places in Southampton.
But we all know, if we're brutally honest, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be tuition fees.
Yeah,
But I also, hang on.
well, I
Hang
don't
on.
know about that because
Mate, there'll be no bloody teachers, mate.
They still have to make money, and I get
Yeah, yeah,
that.
and I get-
Tuition fees aren't the problem. It's the problem for private accommodation. The room I had last year was probably maybe just a bit smaller than the square we're sitting in now. And that's with the toilet there and everything. It was very small.
And what else
room
did you
I'm-
actually really need to do in it?
There was, like, I just wanted space for like my work in that. But I'm saying, like, I'd get out of bed, and as soon as I turn around, like, maybe the distance from my bed and the desk was maybe about a chair's worth. And like, obviously, certain people do certain other courses. My course is quite technical because I do CGI and VFX, and obviously, I need space for like my setup, my desktop, and everything, and that takes up all my desk room.
And
But
did
the-
that
but the
affect
rooms-
you really badly?
It didn't affect me really badly, but it would make things awkward. Having that little extra space would be nice, but without having to spend another £1,000 a year on it, which is essentially not what I'm doing now, but yeah, kind of.
Oh, I've got to ask Daniel, because obviously you could see his brain thinking. What do you think of that comment?
I think I think there's some fair things in there. I think I think there's some fair things that what you said about thinking about how much people pay and things should be free. I think that actually things should be free for the things that we need in this country. And if you have vocational stuff, and no offense on the stuff that you're doing, that shouldn't be free.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Singing,
not saying.
dancing, and acting shouldn't be free. That's that situation that you can do that because that's what you have an idea. But it doesn't give you a definite job. But if you're going somewhere to have a specialist, to be a specialist in something,
I can agree with that.
then I'm like, those are the things that are free. And everything else is a premium. And it sounds terrible because the only people that can do that are the people who probably have some money or backing. But I imagine that in a sense that, you know...
See, I would actually say it should be the other way around. If you want to be a depending on the specialist, or it's... so let's say, right, I've gone to uni to do what I'm doing. I'm happy to pay for that because at the end of the day, if I then turn around and do what most of my friends in college did and say, oh, you know, I'm just a teacher now, or, you know, I'm just working at a pub, then I've just been doing it for free. I've just wasted the teacher's time for the last 3 years. Yeah, it's a nice hobby, but I want to make a career out of this. I should pay forward for the career, like pay for the career and have to pay back my tuition because I've now got them. I've put myself in a position where I want to pay it back because I've actually trying to think of the word, but actually,
but like somebody that was
from this skill.
Yeah, so basically somebody that's going to care for someone or a doctor or
like
something
stuff,
like that
stuff
that's
like
giving
that.
back.
Stuff like that.
I
If you want to
agree
be
with
like
that.
a general doctor, fine. Yeah, that's fine. it should be for free. If you want to specialize in a very specific field and want to be the best at it, then there should be a free option and a paid for option. The paid for option, you get just that specialty. Let's say Daniel wants to be a brain surgeon. Rather than doing the general course, which teaches you about all types of medicines, he pays not a lot, but a certain amount of money to become just a brain surgeon.
I think
then if he takes that skill and becomes the best brain surgeon he can be and makes the money where he can then pay that off, then that's sort of like, right, the teacher's done their job and it's worked for him. If you're paying for something to then turn around afterwards and be like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to work at Waitrose.
But then I also
it's a
think
waste
that
of
if
time.
you work in your industry and you say you want to do visual effects and graphics and stuff like that, and then you are seen to do that for the next 5 years afterwards, I think then you deserve a discount because you're doing the thing that you said.
Yeah.
I think there should be a sheet of paper and there should be a things of what we need to make this country better. And
Yeah.
those are the entitled things that we can go, right, we're going to say we need this, 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 this. If you choose any of those, then you don't have to pay anything. If you choose the other things,
What I like that.
Yeah, that
Then
makes
you
sense.
do.
That's quite a good thing.
Yeah,
What we
especially
need
with the discount as well.
bricklayers.
we need this, we
If
need that.
You know what I mean? Have a list of stuff that the country needs.
Yeah.
Well, you know
If
my
you take
you know my
it-
thinking about all that stuff. Like you should be learning that stuff at school anyway. I think you should be
Yeah.
coming out of school with all this stuff. So
Yeah.
this is
I agree with
all
all
these
this
children
stuff,
that come out of school with absolutely nothing. It's mental.
Yeah.
And then low self esteem if they're not academic is disgusting. It's mental. Anyway, let's carry on.
So our last hot topic is a local one.
Oh yeah, we'll do this one. Yeah, we can do this quickly. Come on.
The last hot topic is a local one. A mafia-themed outdoor escape room is coming to coming to Reading. Apparently, I thought it was Berkshire. Sorry.
No, that sounds awesome. Are you up for that? An outdoor escape? Do you know we're the #1 escape room
If it's
place in the UK?
Are we?
Yeah, like.
Okay.
Reading.
Because all our buildings are empty because the council's
I've
charging
never-
too much business rates.
I've never done an escape room. I've got offered a job at one,
Yeah.
and it was where was it? I think it was Basingstoke. Just before I started working here, I was on a job hunt, and the guy really liked me, and he basically offered me the job there and then. He goes, "Oh, on your CV it says you go to uni. Where'd you go to uni?" I was like, "Oh, Southampton." He's like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, we can't have you."
No. Where
was
did he
like-
think you went? Reading.
No, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Or he didn't want you to
on
be
my
at
CV.
university.
It says I'm looking. On my CV and application, it said looking for work for the next 2 months till I go back to Southampton.
Oh.
So I don't know what he got so excited as well because he was like, "Oh, you know, to use a camera, you can make adverts for me and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Yeah, he wanted a freebie basically.
And he was just like, "Oh, yeah, 2 months now, sorry," and then
Well-
just hung up the phone.
I like this. So it's
Yeah.
another escape room we've got in Reading, a Mafia theme, which sounds quite cool. You can book tickets now from September and October, so that could be something you can do pre-Christmas as well, which would be quite nice. I reckon we should give it a go. We should go down there and give it a go.
I reckon we should.
We should vlog it.
Oh,
You should
that'd be
invite
good.
me back just to vlog it.
Just for that.
Yeah, I should be in it as
We'll
well.
pick you up from Southampton. We'll bring you back.
Oh, if you're paying for the trip, then thank you.
Yeah, it's all
We
about
could
free
do
B&E.
karaoke.
Yeah, we'll do karaoke because at the end of the day, like, obviously, when it's me and Daniel on screen together,
Yeah.
we're bringing thousands, and hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of views. It's fine.
It's not what you want, but it's
It's all
true.
good. Have we got any words of wisdom? This
Words of wisdom.
what's going on? Have you got one? Or are you gonna?
I need to find one.
Yeah, I don't have it on screen because we'll be able to cover
Yeah.
you.
Yours.
I do, and do you know what? It leads to something a little bit longer than that. But so I saw this kid, and he plays saxophone. He was on America's Got Talent, and he had he was really premature. He had like £1. When he was born, he was £1, something like that. So literally wasn't gonna live at all. And his vocal cords are like they don't hit together. So he has a kind of a bit of a weird voice, and he'd been bullied the whole of his life. And so he sat in his room and he didn't want to speak. So he was lucky enough that there was a saxophone in the corner, so he learned how to play saxophone. And my question was to myself is like, if his life was easy, and by the way, he was bloody amazing. They gave him a golden buzzer. So he was incredible. It was so cool. But if his life was easy, and he didn't have that effect that what happened to him being a youngster and being bullied and stuff like that, he probably would have never picked up that saxophone.
No.
And he probably would never have had that moment that he's just had on that stage. It's a bit like Ed Sheeran. He had no friends, so he just stayed at home and played guitar and learned to sing and songwrite. Do we need a shit life for us to succeed? Would you be here doing what you do right now, Scott, if your life was fucking fine?
Nah.
I don't think you need like a shit thing. I think
No,
it doesn't matter how big or significant it is. It just has to be one key thing affects you personally.
No, I think you literally have to have no friends. I think you have to fall apart for you to just go, right, I need to focus on this because I've got nothing else. I've got no distractions. No one wants to hang out with me. I'm in the lowest point ever. And that's why I'm going to start a podcast and talk about my journey. That's why I'm going to learn how to do this thing. If you have your life too easy, you are lazy as hell.
There's a famous thing with that I've seen on Instagram.
Okay.
And it's basically a guy, he's in giving a speech, and it said that his father walked 10 miles to work.
I think I've seen this one, yeah.
And then it says, I had to walk 5 miles to work. My son drives to work. So basically a tough man makes a tough person. But eventually you make it so easy that life comes tough. So the more you are given stuff, when you're in your tough situation, like you're saying, and you're not getting everything, you become a tougher person. Life hardens you to the point of that, like that kiddie, he had nothing, but he come out with a skill. He had nothing.
Yeah.
He created it. But if he had it easy and didn't have them problems at the beginning of life, there is no way he would be on America's Got Talent, doing that saxophone, getting that gold buzzer. No, wouldn't. He would probably be in a boring job, doing a boring thing, having boring life.
Yeah.
He wouldn't understand the toughness of what he got.
The saying that you're going for, which I know actually, which is tough times make
Tough people.
Yeah, make tough people, and then tough people make easier times, and then easier times makes easy people and weaker people, and then weaker people make tough times again.
That's
it's like a cycle.
It's a complete cycle.
Yeah,
and that's where we're kind of at now, isn't it?
And that's pretty much what's happened, isn't it? We've gone through the tough times. We now have got it.
But then I heard this other thing today, and I'll get you to come in. But they said, this again, it's just annoying me on TikTok. They were like, "Oh, where are like the real men?
I've seen these.
Where are like the real men still? Like I feel like there's no real men." And then literally someone clips in is that they're dead. They don't put on sunscreen because they think it's gay, so they die of cancer. They don't go and get a prostate because they think it's gay, so they die of cancer. Like there's things that like the tough man who are like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. Like they make shit decisions too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's going to affect my masculinity and stuff like that. I was like, well, no, actually, probably just go and get checked out. Like, that mold doesn't look good. You're like, oh, no.
No, I'll be all right.
Yeah,
it'll fall off.
I'm all right with one arm. It's fine. So I'm just saying, like, does a bit of a tough time make you become the person you're supposed to be?
100%.
I think it's a 50-50. It depends on the person.
Is it because you never had a tough time?
I've had tough times. I've had plenty of
compared
tough
to you, for you.
For me, and a lot of, and Scott even knows that a lot of things that I've been through are considered tough. But I do believe as well that not every, just because someone has a tough time in their life, that doesn't necessarily have to be a catalyst for them to do great things.
No, but I think it makes you do things.
Yeah, it might make you do things, but ultimately it doesn't.
If your life's too easy, you won't do it.
Well, I personally, I think that's a bit subjective because, like, yeah, I feel like when you have tough time, but there are those people who will do something because they like doing it. Like my best mate, he saw, I don't know if he saw what I was doing, but one day he said, I want to learn to make music. So I was like, okay, learn to make music. And then I grilled him about it every day, and he started making music. And he's good at it. I showed Scott the other day. And then he kept making music. He was working at Tesco's, and he was like, oh, I wish I could make music for a living. I thought, well, go and do it. He hasn't done it yet. And he did end up going through tough times, but him making music at the time when he started making music, he wasn't going through any tough times. He was.
No, I'm not saying that you can't do stuff.
Yeah.
I say you can't be exceptional. You cannot be exceptional without those tough times. Anyone can do anything. Of course you can. I want you to be exceptional. I want you to give up your childhood like Tiger Woods did from the age of 3 to be the person that he is. He had no childhood.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, the same thing. You have to be exceptional. Not just, I did it. Okay, well done. You have to give up.
Yeah, then in that...
And I agree with 100% of that.
Okay,
that's what it is.
That I agree with. Sorry, I misunderstood.
You have to give up everything. You can't go out with your friends.
That kid never had a childhood. Not really. Not like any other child.
No. Yeah. You know, those stories are fine and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, like, you can't even touch those moments. No one else can do those moments because they didn't put the effort in, like Serena Williams and stuff like that. Like, they had no childhood. None. Yeah. That's why every single kid who's an actor does drugs. Because they have free time and money.
Fair enough.
because they've given up on everything. Anyway, more words.
My one, and obviously this goes with how I've experienced the last probably 48 hours. Appreciate the wins.
I'm just happy you picked a new one that isn't. It is what it is.
No, honestly, but even just one, and it's not a big win, as we all know. It's just, but it may not mean something to somebody else, but that one little thing just changed the whole way my day was going.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Oh yeah, I mean, pretty much mine is pretty much just about just work. You have to work hard, and you have to probably sacrifice more than you want to get the thing you want. If you're not willing to sacrifice it, you don't want it that much. Honestly, you don't. And that's and everyone's like, no, I do want it. Not compared to the other person who's literally sacrificed everything.
Yeah. That's a bit like saying I'm hungry. Well, here's a carrot. No, I don't want a carrot.
I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't hungry then, are you?
That's what my brother does. He'll go into the fridge and be like, I'm hungry. I'm like, right, well, there's stuff to make a sandwich. I don't want a sandwich.
Yeah, well, you ain't obviously hungry.
You're not hungry enough to eat a sandwich. Yeah,
that's what I mean. And I think that's exactly the kind of the theory you're going with. You
I
want something bad enough, you'll go get it.
When I was doing my journey and everything I did, like I was doing stuff under the radar before. No one cared. No one cared. No one came to my gigs. No one came to my karaoke night. No one cared about like no one cared until one person cared, and then everyone cared for like whatever time that period was. And then I couldn't go to anyone's party, wedding, I couldn't do anything. I was working every single day. And I was flying or traveling, blah, 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 to get the thing that I wanted to do. So I could, I really, really, really wanted to have my own house. I really wanted to. That was my main thing. I didn't care about success or anything like that comes. But I was just like, how am I going to do this? Mm-hmm. How am I going to do this? I had that idea from 20, and I was like, right, I'm not going to go out. I'm just going to put that money away. I'm going to make sure I do that. And then I had the opportunities. I was like, right, what do I do first? Do I help my mum first, or do I buy my house first? And I was like, well, okay, I'll help my mum first.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, bless you.
Well, that's what if you got a chance to. Most people say that if you want money,
Yeah.
who are you helping? You're helping your family.
Yeah.
So.
First person I help was my dad.
There you go.
100%.
Yeah.
What's yours?
So my one.
Here we go.
This might be the last one I do. So
this is the last one, but you'll be back.
This might be. I will be back every now and then. Because Scott, he's
going to miss you. It's not just Scott.
Yeah. And even though we'll have someone replacing me, I've already said to Scott, and even Scott said it himself, like I am the best in the business.
Oh wow! Do you want to see if you get your head any bigger through that door? Mate?
I think he's very modest, by the way.
Yeah, I think this is an age thing.
No, but I like it. No, I think he's modest, but also he has belief. I think that's a good thing. That's what we need.
I am the best at what I do.
That's not my words of wisdom. Your point.
Yeah. So I thought, this is probably one that I've been kept in the back pocket for a few weeks. Power is not will; it is the phenomenon of physically making things happen.
Cool. I mean,
that's pretty much what you're saying, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's what we're all kind of sort of saying in this episode. It's been all over the place, but I kind of like that. Yeah. Because then it kind of will hopefully get to people that it needs to get to.
Yeah. Right. On that note, though.
Here we go.
With what you're doing, can we close with what we were going to start with at the beginning?
Is that what you want to do? Do you want to explain it? Why he's getting it?
Yeah. Before we do that, we've got to do our game. This is a new thing. We've got to do a game. The game.
Come on. Here we go. Let's do the game. He's too excited.
Try and get rid of my games on my last.
Sorry, we're
so rude. So last time it was a question. I'm going to do another question because I feel like this is quite a fun one. We'll see how you guys do.
Okay.
If you had to pick a useless superpower, it has to be a useless one.
Okay.
What would it be? And just to clarify, it has to be something that you like. It happens just for you, but it's not so much. When you think of it, you're thinking, right, that's not really a superpower, but you have to you can turn it into one. So, for example, and this is one Scott said earlier, if you were to just randomly glow in the dark,
okay,
so you turn it on, turn it off. You can use that as a superpower, but you can't exactly stop the world from plummeting into the sun or something.
Okay, that's fair. I like that. Yeah. Mine would be to weirdly grow my nails, so when I have really itchy back, I can just kind of scratch it and then it just goes back to normal. Okay. And I can't do anything for anyone else. But you know when you got an itchy back and no one is around and you're somewhere, you can't go.
Yeah. Okay. To be fair, if you sharpen those as well,
you went. But they're not enough to kill people. You can't kill people.
You don't mean like Wolverine?
I'm not Wolverine, but they'll just fall apart.
I know exactly what you're thinking of. I'm thinking there's a Family Guy scene where they all get superpowers and they all get really cool ones, and then Meg just gets really long nails.
Yeah,
and she goes and scratches people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I didn't leave a mark, but it still hurt. Like, it's like that, basically.
I think they asked it, was it Black Widow? They're like, "What's your superpower?" She's like, "Kicking." She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, because none of us can kick here."
Yeah, and then you just see like everyone's like voting her out of it, and you just see the Hulk there, like, oh, sorry.
I'm
Just
so
like-
sorry.
Yeah.
You have to.
So
live
what
Black
would be
Widow.
yours then?
Oh,
Mine is glow in the dark.
I like that.
Solid.
See, I believe this is the only right answer.
Ooh.
If you wanted to be a superhero, the ability to just make my eyes just glow red.
Ooh, because you're gonna freak
But
people
yeah,
out.
exactly. Think about it this way: you're mugging someone, right? You're mugging someone. You're like, or
It would
you're
be you,
or
though.
you're getting mugged, or you're mugging someone. I come up to you in a deep voice and scream, "Hey, stop that!"
I want the voice,
then-
please.
Oh,
Come on.
Come on, you've got to do it properly, right?
hey, stop that, or
That's
something like
alright.
that.
I'm Batman.
Right. Yeah, I'm a Batman, and I'm just wearing a hood and like a face mask.
Yeah.
You sound like most of the kids in Reading.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're like, well, what the hell are you gonna do? You're just standing there, and then literally you just hear me get angrier, and then my eyes just turn like a burning red. Nothing happens, but would you not think that I'm some freak who's gonna like laser you?
I think I can make money out of mine. Yours is rubbish.
Well, hang on. If I can go in the dark, I'm saving some energy bills for someone.
Oh, that's probably true, but people have to be
not what
around
you
you.
said earlier, and you know it's not.
Hello. Okay, so we're going to finish
Yeah.
up this wonderful show. What episode are we? So I can remember.
27.
We are actually 27.
We're actually 27,
fine.
and we need to make sure you're 27.
Yeah, this is fine. If you like to follow us, you can follow us on social. What is our social on Instagram? Do you know what it is?
So we've got Open Doors, Open Mind on Instagram, Facebook, and will be Twitter.
Oh, nice.
We've also got it on the YouTube channel for the Berkshire channel.
Yeah, Berkshire channel. And then the Berkshire channel's obviously
Obviously, got all the other things.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And then
But we really do need some sponsorship, not just so we can keep the podcast going. It's purely so I can help people, like a situation we was in last night, where a guy needs some help. Obviously, using the sports and everything that I do can just change someone's life. And obviously, I can't keep doing it all for free. Obviously, I'll never charge anybody with mental health. So if you would like to sponsor a person for me to be able to help them, please feel free to come forward.
We can put that on the screen. We can have any of your products on the desk as well. And so we can help you and you help us, which would be great. We're going to finish off here. This is a video that I put on TikTok with Scott's requested this. I haven't requested this, but it's fine. And this is my friend's son, Ben, who lives just up the road from me. I was looking after him for the day. And he's a big Harry Styles fan. So we'll play this out. This is the first time you've seen this guy, isn't it?
yes. Oh, no, second time.
Second time? No, you did. You did see
yeah.
it, because otherwise you'd be like,
Oh,
well,
this
can't pick
is
that up. It's fine.
Brilliant.
Here we go.
All right, hang on.
Here we go. A little bit of noise.
Again.
We're all there. It's fine.
You know it's not the same as it was in this world. It's just us. Ready? You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same as it was.
That's a nice way to finish, isn't it?
That's
Really?
a very nice
Thank
way
you
to
very much. Episode 27 in the bag. And we'll be back next week. Without this one, we have a new person, but we want to say thank you very much. You've been
That's
an
all
absolute
right.
pleasure.
Yeah. I've
and you've helped us out a lot.
I've enjoyed my time here. I've enjoyed it.
It's good.
Now, get out.
If Scott wasn't here, I would have enjoyed it more. But I've enjoyed my time.
Ah, the bants between
And
you
I know I
guys.
will be missed. But yeah, I'll see you guys.
We'll
hopefully
be
in the
back. You'll be
future.
back. You'll be back. There's
We
holidays.
might have to just get a line of them, won't we?
Yeah, just a line of
Line
like
of- just a line of me.
We should have like pictures of our old producers, because you're third.
Yeah.
You're third?
Yeah.
Or even better, just let all the ex-producers do a podcast.
About us. You're like, Dan doesn't shut up. We'll see you next week. Ciao.
So usually that would be the end of the podcast. You know, you'd like and subscribe, which you should have already done. And if you haven't already, you need to go and do it now. But since I was on this episode and I didn't really get to say it on the episode because, you know, I wanted to keep this a surprise because Scott and Daniel have no idea I've added this in. But I would just like to say a massive thank you to Scott and Daniel and everyone at the Berkshire channel and everyone who's worked with Open Doors, Open Minds and everyone I've worked with for the last 2 months while under their employment, because I've genuinely had a really good experience and I do look forward to seeing them again. I will be working alongside them in the future. Whether or not you'll see me around, I could not tell you when that will be. But again, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.